Following a first league win last time out in North Jersey, the Cosmos look to do it again to start off this weekend slate in the USL. Battered but with high spirits, Charlotte Independence trudge into Hinchliffe fresh off an exciting cup set, but short-handed in personnel. Welcome to the broadcast here on ESPN Plus. My name is Mark Schoenster. Can't wait to get this one going for you to start off the weekend slate in the USL. Let's catch up on what happened last time out in the league for both of these two teams. The dark years are over for the New York Cosmos as they get their first victory. Now that they are a resurgent club, get 2 goals scored, a 2-0 victory in a game where they suffered a lot of the match against Fort Wayne, but they had the determination necessary to get the 3 points they needed. And a lot of it is to thank from Ajmer Spangler, who had 2 assists in that matchup. Such a dangerous player in transition, and he's not a one-trick pony either. He can hurt you in a lot of different ways. Davide Corti, the manager, mentioned that he could turn the light on in many different facets, and so they'll be looking for him to continue to power this offense here this evening. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Charlotte Independence, what a week they've been having, but it started off last weekend with a thrashing of Spokane Velocity. A shocking result because Spokane, they should be pretty darn good this season, but they were undone by the Jacks throughout this matchup. The press worked wonders in that game, win this one 4-0, and then would proceed on Tuesday to knock off the USL Championship side Charleston Battery. Victorious in that one in added time. So 2 big wins for Mike Jeffrey's side. And one man to thank for it on their side of things is Vigo Ortiz, scored in the 119th minute at home in order to beat the USL Championship side. His former team, by the way. He's now scored 2 huge goals that have directly resulted in a win or a last-second tie for this side in his early stages with the club. So they'll be looking for him to do it again tonight. That's the kind of magic he's been carrying, but it's the same magic that the Cosmos intend to maintain on home ground. Let's see who harnesses the figurative elements up next. Lineups at kickoff are on the horizon. Let's take a look at our starting 11s first off for the New York Cosmos, brought to you by Ion Bank. It's going to be the exact same starting 11 from their win last week against Fort Wayne. Look, if it ain't broke, why fix it? Davide Corti looks to patch together the performance in their first home game against Portland, where he thought they played better and matched up with the mentality they played with in that game against Fort Wayne. So sort of the tactical versus the mental combining together. And they're going to hope that that can translate onto the pitch here this evening. Meanwhile, for Mike Jeffries, maybe less rotation than he would have liked, but the big thing that's worth acknowledging, Sway Boomeroo still hurt from that game on Tuesday in the Open Cup. So the question remains, who will be spearheading the press and being the target man at the top of the formation offensively for the Jacks? Right now, the projection is Enzo Martinez, Jaime, and Ortiz will be the top options. But look, that's 6 midfielders that are your front 6. So it could be any one of them taking their turn up top as the attack for this Charlotte Independence team. Maybe they'll take turns. We'll see exactly which roles they fill into. It's a short-handed Charlotte Independence team, but one with very high spirits. And those same high spirits are shared by the Cosmos as we get underway here from Hinchliffe Stadium. Charlotte Independence and the Cosmos doing battle here. It's an action-packed weekend in USL League One. This is the lone matchup here on Friday. We have some really intriguing games coming up tomorrow, though, so we appreciate you tuning into this one to sort of whet your appetite. Our head official for today, Mohamed Kalia. Been a busy week for these teams and in the USL in general. It's also been a busy week for officials. Mohamed Kalia was in San Antonio on Wednesday doing the San Antonio FC Tulsa Open Cup matchup. Now he makes his way all the way over to New Jersey. Keeps the show going. Of course, it's Cosmos and the green kits going left to right. The road white kits with the horizontal striping going right to left for Charlotte Independence. Once again, my name is Mark Schoenster. Excited to be along the ride with you here. All slid up the pitch. Martinez with it right now. They'll take a clip and be a free kick for Charlotte. Cosmos getting their first win in league history against Fort Wayne, but a game that Davide Corte wasn't exactly the most, I guess, complimentary of. He was happy about the result. I didn't feel they played particularly well, but it was important to get 3 points, especially after such a busy week. The one thing he would compliment was there was some solid defending in the match, and then as I already brought up, he appreciated the mentality throughout that game, even if the play itself at times wasn't their most complimentary. Alvarez will take it himself and he'll skip wide. Derek Chan, the goalkeeper, will watch it bounce by his frame. Here is the man in charge of the Cosmos in their first year at USL League One. A great return of what is such a historic club in the United States. It's a club that in recent years, according to Eric Stover, the chief executive officer, these past 9 years at times could have been considered the dark days and have been a bit frustrating, but you get that first win and then you're rewarded for all the effort that so many people put in for bringing back this club and at the professional ranks once again. It's hard to start a new team regardless of if it's a brand that is historic and recognizable. It takes a lot of guys who will maybe at times go unthanked. That'll glance out for a corner kick for the home side. Ajmir Spangler will trot his way over to the right corner flag and looking to orchestrate a bright start to this game. 2 assists in that match against Fort Wayne. 3 total on the season in just 4 matches. A lot of air under that one from Spangler. defending there from Tabo Nare. One spraying out to the right-hand side. And a point to the spot now. Contact made. The official has made his decision. Let's look at this again here. Oh, it's just in the corner of the penalty area. Ivan Romero making the challenge, just clips William Knocker. That's a really tough spot to be put in if you're the visitors. Really not a goal-scoring opportunity as that ball is rolling away. But you commit a foul inside the penalty area. The rules are the rules. And Ajmer Spangler will now look to be the punisher for it. Spangler finishes the job. An early advantage for the Cosmos. Trying to carry that momentum from last weekend into this one. I mean, that's as tough of a foul, a penalty to give up as you're gonna see. Celebration here from the Cosmo faithful, convening here in North Jersey. And Ajmer Spangler now has his second goal of the season. 5 matches, 5 goal contributions. Man coming over from Texoma. And now we'll have to see how this Independence team can respond. They're gonna need to be aggressive and chase this game, which is what happened in their first matchup against Westchester. Ortiz scoring late in that game to salvage a point. He was the hero on Tuesday, late in extra time to topple the Charleston Battery. A game that they got off to a 2-0 lead in. Things were looking really good, and then the momentum swayed when Swebu Maru went down with an injury. He was the focal point of their press in that match, and they were causing problems for the Battery. This one up to the top of the 18. Alvarez also scored in that match. He's tripped up. Ref waves off the contact. Play once again continues, and it's out for a Jack's throw. Once Maru went down, they couldn't quite sustain the pressure they had been providing. Some of that being exhaustion, and some of that obviously you lose your spearhead. And then, of course, the Charleston Battery are a good team. They make some tweaks and adjustments, and they're able to throw some good punches and tie the game up at 2 apiece in the second half. And Mike Jeffries thought they gave away that second goal a bit easily and was worried that maybe the wheels were going to fall off, but instead the guy stuck true, and he was really proud of how they responded. I mean, the vibes are so high when you go up 2-0 en route to a cup set, then you see that lead evaporate in under 10 minutes. The morale could get shot, but instead they hung tight and then got their chance late in extra time. And that is all well and good. But right now, this is a team that is hanging on by a thread roster-wise, only able to dress 16 players today. So just 5 options on the bench, and not a ton of rotation in the lineup for a team that played, obviously, in theory, 120-ish minutes, but when you account for all the added time, it got closer to about 140. So you would have loved to give some of those guys some rest, but instead, many of them are going to have to muscle it out as Spangler came seeking in. Ajmir Spangler walled off by Levy. Back up top. Spangler tries to curl it, and Matt Levy is ready to claim it. Matt Levy, one of the 3 lineup changes from Tuesday for Mike Jeffries. Stepping in for George Tesouris in goal. It's him, Raoud Manin, and Vigo Ortiz who get plugged into the starting lineup. Minutes in, Cosmos with an early lead due to a penalty drawn. William Knocker knocked over by Javan Romero just inside the penalty area. As we take a look at this exchange here from moments ago, Ajmir Spangler along with Guinzotti applying the press, winning the ball back in a dangerous spot, but Spangler unable to get it by the goalkeeper. Have a second look, and Levy was able to cover it up. Mike Jeffries telling me we'll rotate where we can and manage with the group. You're gonna have to expect that some of these guys who played last week against Spokane, played on Tuesday against Charleston, will have to also muscle it out here today. It's not ideal, but it's necessary. That's the wild part about this, is that despite some of these woes, I mean, this has been a fantastic week for the Independents. Ortiz gashing in. Vigo Ortiz! Oh, that's one for the highlight reel! Vigo Ortiz with some sauce! Stunner after stunner for the youngster. Just 17 years old. He's taking this league by storm. I mean, that is perfection. Afforded too much space as he dribbles into the central area. Top of the 18, lets it rip. He is feeling all the confidence right now. I asked Mike Jeffries about Ortiz, called him a player with some really good upside, and it's always hard to predict how someone will mesh with a group, especially a young player like Ortiz. But, I mean, he is thriving right now, and they knew he was capable of some greatness, but, I mean, I don't know if anyone could anticipate him getting off to the start he has this season. 2 goals in league play now, and of course, a memorable goal in the Open Cup against his former team, the Charleston Battery. Now the goal will just be to keep pushing him along. I mean, look, if this is what he's capable of doing in the early stage of the season, I mean, just what is this kid capable of? Wow, all right. So level back at 1 apiece. Well, what Ortiz just did there matches up with what Davide Corti assessed was possible with this Charlotte Independence team. Called them a group with a lot of really good individual players who can change the game by themselves. And that's exactly what Ortiz just did there. How do the Cosmos respond? Both sides already landing a punch in the first 15 minutes of this game. Talk about a start. USL on the CBS Sports Network kicks off on April 18th with an Eastern Conference showdown. Charleston Battery takes on the fast start Tampa Bay Rowdies at 3 p.m. Eastern. Catch the action on the CBS Sports Network on April 18th. League One fans, of course, will recognize the man in charge of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, one Dom Casciato. And if you need a little educating, of course, one of the many successful head coaches of Union Omaha, of course, Casciato. Multiple player shield, one USL League One title. And he took a couple of his Owl buddies and brought them over to Florida. Alvarez launching up the pitch. Jaime rolls it over. Alvarez and Nare are in the vicinity. Knocked away in favor of the visitors. Christopher Jaime. Cross sent inside, a lunging header will knock it out of danger. Ref waves off the contact. Jaime trying to turn in. Romero sends it over to the right-hand side. Ball swung into Martinez. Popped out of the 18 for a moment. Now Christopher Jaime. To Alvarez, who appeals for a handball, won't get it. Well, objective number one in this game for Charlotte is to stay healthy. Already so short-handed. And with how tight the schedule is right now, it's not like they could do too much deep diving tactically against this Cosmos team. You basically got to go in and do what you do, and hope that'll be enough. Alvarez trying to send that one over top. And you got to do it without your bona fide striker, your number 9, Sway Maru. But when it came to considering this Cosmos team, like Jeffries mentioned, that it's a side that can be dangerous in transition. Obviously, he's complimentary of the wingers, Spangler, Guenzati. Of course, they were able to create a lot of chances in their game against Fort Wayne in transition moments. And he said, look, the moment that they have one of those breaks going forward, we need to be alert and aware of where Ajmir Spangler is. But despite being dangerous in transition, being a bunker and counterattack team is not actually really what the Cosmos are setting out to do. It's what happened in that game against Fort Wayne, but this is a side that wants to possess the ball. Sure, if you're dangerous in a counterattack situation, you're never gonna, I guess, balk at the idea, but there are some teams that is dead set what they're trying to do is wait for their opportunity to strike and be precise in those moments. But Some side not exactly is that their primary motivation. Here's Christian Kofi. Still waiting for him to find his stride with the team. Kofi chops into the center, and a second penalty's been awarded. The first one may have been rough, but this one a little more agreeable. It's just a clunky challenge there. Raoud Manin stepping into Kofi. And he'll be given a yellow card for his transgression, his second yellow of the season. This game continues to have early theatrics. Now who will be the one to take this penalty? Ajmer Spangler took the first one, and he's back at the spot again. Well, we're 20 minutes in, and our two players to watch have already scored a goal in this game. Spangler's trying to make it 3 goals in the first 20 minutes. Spangler from Tampa, Florida. And he picks it out again. 2 for 2 at the spot for Spangler. And once more, the Cosmos have the advantage. That's a look at the penalty again. And Spangler very tidy with that pen. Cosmos fans once again drumming. Cue the trumpets. As a player slow to get up for the home side. Darren Seidel is currently down. I think they're preparing a substitution for him as we speak. Of course, at home you get an extended bench, you get your 7 pros, and then also 2 additional academy players. From the Netherlands, Darren Seidel scoring that historic first goal for New York. These people at Hinchliffe Stadium going crazy. Good substitution option coming in though for the Cosmos as Justin Milovanov will be preparing to enter the pitch earlier than maybe he anticipated, but nonetheless. So, Seidel is out. Milovanov is in, and despite it being the early stages of the season, it's 1 goal scorer this year with someone else who's also scored a goal. Milovanov from Brooklyn. First year as a pro, starting to figure out what it's like to play at this level. It's always a transition, college players to the pros, and the biggest and most obvious reason why is because the season for the pros is just so much longer than a college season. Sometimes you'll get the case that a guy who graduates and comes and plays in USL Championship or USL League One can get off to a great start. And then as the year wears along, they start to fade into obscurity just because they don't have the endurance that the season requires of you. Of course, that's not the case with every rookie, but it is a common occurrence as Spangler has the ball shipped to him. And his pass forward too far ahead of both Guenzati and Kofi. Ball launched up the pitch, and Jaime is offside. Christopher Jaime, the San Diego man, put in quite the shift in that game against Charleston on Tuesday. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL League One. From the grassroots to the pros, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Lifted ball will bounce over to the right-hand side. Nare will boot it away. 25 minutes in. 2-1 in favor of the Cosmos. 2 penalty kicks in their favor. Ajmir Spangler cool and composed on both of them. Meanwhile, a highlight goal for Vigo Ortiz on the Charlotte Independence side of things. Ortiz persistent along the boundary. It is effectively 1 against 3 there. Probably nodded out for a throw in the attacking third for the Jacks.
Don't forget to check in to tonight's match on the official Cosmos app. Redeem points for free tickets, merchandise, and exclusive Cosmos experiences. Not a member yet? Download the Cosmos app on Android or iOS and sign up today. If you need any assistance, please visit customer service located at the ticket booth at Gate 1.
Kofi, a nice touch. Will turn on the burners along the left-hand side. Christian Kofi, still dashing. Threads it over to the right-hand side, finds Galazzini. And a lovely intervention from Tabo Nari. Davide Galazzini scoring in the last game against Fort Wayne. Had the door shut on him by the left back from Cary, North Carolina. This is the kind of electricity that Christian Kofi can provide. I mean, he got that ball practically in his own third and was able to kick it into high gear and turn it into a goal-scoring opportunity for his teammate. Respects, you've got to like what you've been seeing from the Cosmos so far in this game. Third home game here this season, and Davide Corti would like those first 2 home game performances to sort of be glued together. He preferred the way and the style they played against Portland Hearts of Pine in their opener, but they needed more of that determination, that mindset, and he thought they displayed that in the win against Fort Wayne. So just patch the 2 together and get some possession. That would be the brand the Cosmos are trying to play with this season. Guenzati. Pulled back from Knocker. William Knocker dragging it to Chavez, who will float it up forward. Kofi. Won back by the Independents. Derek Chan's gonna get on the ball here. outside of an absolute banger of a goal from Vigo Ortiz, Derek Chan hasn't had to do too much in this match. Couldn't have expected him to really have much of a say on that goal that was conceded. Spangler rolling it up ahead, trying to find Galazzini. In. It's the home side with the advantage right now, trying to string together a second straight win. Hoping to take advantage of some of the exhaustion that Charlotte will be feeling as this game goes along. Ion Bank, trusted, local, and always on your team. Whatever your personal or business banking goals, we're here to help you reach them. Discover the power of community banking and see what Ion Bank can do for you. You can visit them at ionbank.com. Feel good offensively if you're the Cosmos on one end. On the other side, maybe you feel a bit hard done in if you're the Jacks, a group that has been really good defensively so far this season. Jeffries described them as an honest, hard-working group. As Alvarez brings it forward, sends it over the right-hand side for Ortiz. He's able to keep it in bounds by the flag. Vigo Ortiz. There's two men defending him, trying to sneak it through. An official saying it came off of the youngster last, so it'll be a throw in deep in their own territory for the Cosmos. But this is a group that wants to press this year, Charlotte, and usually the man that would be at the front of that is Swebu Maru, a striker who does a ton of dirty running. It's a group that's taking a lot of pride in their defending it in their shape, and with that pressure, they can win the ball up higher than maybe iterations of this Independence team has in years past. And also, if you can hold some possession, that also takes some of that pressure off for that back line and your goalkeeper. All these things combined together, and you've got a group that has the makings to have a good season. They've already proven that they can take some quality teams on and put a team like Spokane to the sword and drop 3 goals on a USL championship team. Martinez picks up the loose parts. Enzo Martinez. Roll it back. Alvarez popping it out wide. Now sent in centrally. Derek Chan able to palm that in. Chan getting his second start in a row. Made 4 saves in that clean sheet victory against Fort Wayne. It'll be him and Tristan Stefani will be looking to get those goalkeeping nods throughout the season for the Cosmos. Stefani starting the first 3 games, but look, if you start a goalkeeper and you get your first win of the season, you keep rocking with them until something goes wrong, but I think that'll be an interesting competition between the two of them. Chan, 27 years old, Stefani, 23. Jaime feeling a lot of contact there, and eventually a free kick will be awarded to the visitors. Here's Spangler, a player with a brace in this match, both from the penalty spot. He's not going to complain, though. You get that opportunity, you make the most of it. A player that Davide Corti described as the best player on the field last game. Still a young player, too, just 25 years old. Long career path in front of him. Davide Corti said he's a guy who can turn the light on offensively for us, and Last game he did it once by swinging it out wide for Galazzini, and the other by driving down the pitch himself and then laying it off for Sebastian Guenzati to clean up and finish. Service sent inside, nodded towards goal, but ends up going sideways. Cleared out for a Charlotte throw.
Bring your company or organization to a Cosmos game. Group outings start at just 10 tickets and are discounted from single game pricing. Call 551-353-2228, option 5, or email
There's Alvarez.
tickets@cosmos.com to get started today.
Launching it out wide. Too far ahead of Clay Dimmick. Opportunity going to the wayside for the visiting team. Well worked at tight quarters. Ball swung inside. Takes a couple bounces. And will be escorted up the pitch now for the Cosmos. The pressure is still on from the Jacks. Ortiz with the ball now. One player down, and now two for Charlotte. Alvarez gets clipped. And over on the left-hand side, Tabo Nare still down, waiting to get back up. Alvarez takes a stamp there. That one's gonna sting. Nick Mendonca, one guilty. Mohamed Kalia, our head official, now looking to clear the scene and have his conversation with the assailant. It'll be Alvarez. About 35 yards out from goal, and it's very easy to get that measurement on this pitch. Alvarez curling it in, headed towards goal, and ends up being harmless at the end of things. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Why wouldn't you want to show up here? Paterson, New Jersey, baby. Got a whole 2 weeks to plan for the next match, by the way, for Cosmos. Next bout will be against Fort Madison on the 19th, as this one's played over. Ortiz sliding it across the middle. Derek Chan able to get there before anybody dangerous does. The other side of things, it's Ajmir Spangler, as it is so often for the Cosmos. Well, if it's always Spangler on one end, it's been Ortiz a lot on this side of things for Charlotte. Will tap this one back, and Donka able to shield it away, and then it's coming off of him last, so it'll go to the visitors. Alvarez looking on right there by the action. It's Mike Jeffries, former pro player himself, and would you know it, coming out of college, he got drafted and take a wild guess which team drafted Mike Jeffries as Ortiz plays it across the middle. Wind-up shot! Doesn't get too far. A chance on the break for Charlotte, and now going the other direction are the Cosmos. Kofi inside for Guenzati, returns the favor. Oh, it's lovely. Galazzini sprayed wide. Incisive passing from the Cosmos, but it does not have a satisfying conclusion. Davide Galazzini tries to use his right foot to play it far post. And the Italian unsuccessful fighting that side netting. He'll shake his head in disappointment. That was well worked between Kofi Guenzati and Davide Galazzini. One opportunity at one end, and then quickly retorted with one going the opposite direction. Tabo Nare not feeling too hot here. Again, not a ton of player rotation for the Jacks from Tuesday's long affair, longer than even just the 120 minutes would suggest. At the end of 90 minutes, they had over 10 minutes of added time. That's the end of the evening for Nare. And subbing on will be Miles Lyons, a guy who has USL Championship experience himself, so not a bad guy to sub on, but you were hoping maybe at least you get to halftime. But look, if you know you've got nothing left, there's no reason to stay out there. And I mean, Galazzini was wide open on that right-hand side, which is where Nare, in theory, should be. So out he goes, Lyons goes in. And the action continues. Matisse Gouffroy carrying the ball forward. Now it's sprayed out wide. Ball sent in centrally by Alvarez. And a hopeful ball will be launched down the pitch for Matt Levy. Played on the receiving end of for the Independents. Levy, 26 years old, his fourth year with the Charlotte Independents, though. Wasn't a guy that played a ton the first few seasons, then collected 5 clean sheets last year. Goalkeeper from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Well, before we had those 2 very clear-cut opportunities brewing earlier, I was talking about Mike Jeffries and his professional career. He got drafted by the Cosmos. Never played for them, though. Ended up getting traded before he could even pull up to the organization. Went over to Minnesota instead. Minnesota Strikers, whom he spent some time with before the NASL ended up folding. But there was a year where the Strikers and the Cosmos were in that same league together in 1984, and Mike Jeffries was on that Minnesota team. Couldn't get any historical confirmation nor confirmation from Mike Jeffries that he ever played the Cosmos, because that first season was a bit riddled with injuries for the now head coach for the Independents. Still a fun tie nonetheless, especially given the fact that, I mean, pretty easy to find ties to the Cosmos throughout the history of U.S. soccer. Mike Jeffries has been involved in the sport in the States for a good while now, in a lot of positive ways. Alvarez sends it in the middle. And once again, Derek Chant able to step up to the plate on his right post. Chant, a guy who was not playing professionally last season, returns to the pro ranks here with the Cosmos, and has been able to step up in a couple of moments here in the latter half of this first 45 minutes. issue to Nick Mendonca. Six minutes of stoppage time being tacked on here, so there was quite a few interesting events throughout here this first 45 minutes. A couple of substitutions in the first half and 2 penalty kicks awarded. Another goal scored on top of that. Alvarez knocked away, and Kofi will dribble this out of danger for the Cosmos. Kofi lets it up the pitch. It's Kofi once more, switching it over to Spangler. Met by Jaime. I'll drill it back up top. Donka finds Spangler. Exchange back and forth. Alvarez with some room to operate, dashing forward as Ortiz to his left. Alvarez. He also scored a banger in that Open Cup game. Cannot give him an avenue. Martinez has his pocket picked. And then Christian Kofi's knocked over, and a yellow card will be dealt out to Clay Dimmick. I mean, he just comes crashing in, Clay Dimmick. He's late, it's reckless. That's about as yellow card as they come. Clay Dimmick, the longtime man with the Charlotte Independence. The second most appeared player in the club's history behind Joel Johnson. It's his 8th season with Mike Jeffries and this organization. Meanwhile, we have some recovery taking place over here. Hard-fought affair so far in this game. Cosmos get a penalty in the 6th minute to take the lead. Diego Ortiz responds 7 minutes later. And then just 9 minutes after that, a second penalty is drawn, and Ajmir Spangler is good on both of them. That is how we're at this 2-1 scoreline. Davey Mason, not unfamiliar with USL League One action, having played with Texoma last year with the likes of Ajmir Spangler and Jordan Chavez, who are also in the starting lineup for Cosmos tonight. Also with Tormenta the year prior. Just recently hit 50 USL League One appearances, Davey Mason. Still looking for that first goal, though. And we're going to get another substitution here in the first half. So this is going to be our 3rd change. First, Seedle goes out for Milovanov. Then Nare switched for Lions, and now Massimo Morabito will sub into the game. Davey Mason, we'll see his evening come to an end here early. A crunchy affair so far between the Cosmos and the Jacks. Morbito. Back to Mendonca, who will play it forward. It's Kofi on the left-hand side. They'll slide it in. Ref says it's a clean challenge. Alvarez. You know, he's going to be a busy bee throughout the game, and it's hard to believe that he has the level of energy he has displayed in this match so far, because he was doing that same kind of buzzing on Tuesday. Hear the drumming and the support from the fans here in attendance at Hinchliffe Stadium. Davide Corti saying that first home game was a great feeling, and I love the support they have now. And he said, look, if we start turning out consistent results, we're going to get even more people to come. And also, they had the detracting factor of it being a bit cold for those first two matches at home, but it's a pretty lovely night out here this Friday evening in early April. 61 degrees right now. So they're looking forward to the warmer weather and that attracting more people. And if they win a second straight game at home, then the people need to start filing in the seats. Martinez back up on his feet, trying to find an avenue, and it's knocked out to Kofi. Kofi was able to dance by Alvarez, but at the end of the day, Alvarez picks up loose pieces, and then he's fouled and a yellow card issued. Justin Milovanov given his second booking of the season. Milovanov subbed into the game, one of the three changes that have already been executed in this matchup, as all right, what should be the closing moments here, as we've already gone a whole minute over the 6 that were tacked on. Of course, we've had a couple stoppages here as well since the 45-minute mark. Alvarez. And this one skips in! A venturing half volley, and it finds the back of the net. We're all tied up before the halftime break. I mean, that's not even a half volley, that's a full volley. Knocked in from outside the 18. What a strike from Jefferson Amaya. Wow, what a hit. Made its way through the traffic. It bounces by Derek Chan. One last attempt before the halftime whistle, and we're all drawn up at 2 apiece. And there's the halftime whistle. What a game we've had so far here at Hinchliffe Stadium. 2-2 your scoreline as these teams go to break. A lot to unpack and a lot to think about if you're either manager. It's the same for us as well, as we've got to digest everything we've just witnessed. 2 penalty kicks for the Cosmos, 2 bangers for the Charlotte Independents. So with that in mind, we're gonna step aside for some halftime break. But when we come back, we've got some great league-wide content to throw your way here on ESPN+. 2-2 your scoreline after 45 plus here. We'll see you after this break. Be sure to stay locked in.
I'm Bree and I am Ion.
नाम कलीम जान है और मैं आयन हूँ.
Yo soy Ion Bank.
I'm Tajinder Kaur, ਅਸੀਂ Ion Bank ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
I'm Taiwan and I am Ion.
اسمي أدمى وأنا آيان.
Ja jestem Ion Bank.
Eu sou Ion Bank.
Ja jestem Ion Bank.
I am Ion.
नाम कलीम जान है और मैं आयन हूँ।
Yo soy Ayan Bank.
I'm Tajinder Kaur, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਇਨ ਬੈਂਕ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ।
I'm Taiwan, and I am Ion.
اسمي أدمى وأنا آيان.
Ja jestem Ayan Bank.
Eu sou Ion Bank.
Ja jestem Ayan Bank.
I am Ion.
Back here in Patterson, New Jersey, where it has been quite the thriller so far. 4 goals in the first 50 minutes, you should say, since that one got up to about 53 minutes in the first half of action. Mark Schoenster with you here on ESPN Plus. The Cosmos and the Charlotte Independents all tied up at 2 apiece as we begin our halftime content here. Here's a look at last week's Team of the Week, and you got some representation from both of these teams. Spangler, Alvarez, Romero all had great games in their previous ventures in league play, and Azad Liati getting a mention at the top left corner for you. Just needs one more goal to hit 20 regular season goals in his USL League One career. He'll be playing against Naples tomorrow, and we'll try to attain that. But look at everybody else, see who has been clicking in the league as of recently. And if you don't believe it on this graphic, we've got some highlights here to show you. Goal of the week, save of the week, also some Players of the Month nominees. And then after that, Dan Lucas is going to give us some halftime updates. So be sure to stay locked in here on ESPN Plus. We've got all this stuff coming your way now.
Cosmos might be a little bit stronger in these first couple results. On by Fricky. Fricky has a go! Oh, wow! A blinder from the captain, Brendan Fricky. In not 3 minutes gone, it's 1-0.
A fast start in Greenville with a 5-goal thriller. The opening goal came in the 3rd minute. Setting up a throw-in like a set piece, the center back and captain, Brandon Fricky, receives this one off his thigh. And the short hop to finish, we had to slow it down to watch that brilliant finish for the center back. His first goal since 2023 is a memorable one. For your select USL League One Goal of the Week.
Another in-swinger, this dangerous, still loose, somehow saved by Levy. Now heel.
Over the top, Kruchenkov finishes the stunner lightning strike, 1-0 Knoxville.
It's Bowie in a soft spot. Guanzani around him. Osmir Spangler settling, striking, and scoring. As the understudy heading into this year, but now it's Hammersley with something to do. It's Azad Liati who pierces through and punches Greenville. A goal out in front against the run of play. A good ball in, and not at home. Red Wolves up and running. It's 1-1.
It is halftime in USL League One. We hope you're enjoying your match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at some of the headlines for this week. 2 more expansion clubs notched their first victories in Week 4. New York Cosmos defeated Fort Wayne FC 2-0, thanks in part to legendary USL player Sebastian Guinzotti, who scored a goal, his first for the Cosmos since 2016. Before that historic franchise's rebirth in League One this year. And Sarasota Paradise topped Portland Hearts of Pine 1-0. That's 4 points in 3 matches for Sarasota, the most among the league's 5 expansion clubs this season. League One stunned the U.S. Open Cup with more cup sets this week, highlighted by Charlotte Independence and Vigo Ortiz's 118th minute goal to sink Charleston Battery from the championship in round 2. Let's take a look at the clubs from League One and the championship that are headed to the third round. And a look at our upcoming national TV schedule. El Clamico returns on Saturday the 25th, this time in the Brinks Tires USL Cup. That's a look at the headlines for this week. Let's get you back to your match for the second half.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Brinks Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Brinks Tires will be there for the long haul.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Ready, buddy? Here it comes. Keep your eye on the ball.
We see your future.
I got my eye on these colors.
Your day-to-day.
Okay. Well, I got my eye on this.
Yeah, right.
Really? And every big decision along the way. We see you when other banks really don't. So we can see you through anything. We're always looking out for you. Ion Bank.
We've got our eye on every moment happening in this matchup. 2-2 after 45 minutes. Still during the halftime break here, but got some great content to discuss here on ESPN Plus. My name is Mark Schoenster. Excited to be with you here for the rest of this show. It's been exciting up to this point. Let's take a peek at some power rankings here, brought to you by Capelli Sport. And look who is all the way at the top. The Charlotte Independents. Well, you win 4-0 against Spokane Velocity, whom were #1 the week prior. You're going to earn yourself the #1 spot. Really impressive in their game. I would certainly keep my eye out for Union Omaha throughout this season as well. They looked really good last weekend against Corpus Christi, and they've been resilient to start the year. Meanwhile, on the other side, this is the bottom side, and Cosmos will certainly be looking to get some more respect as the season goes along. Just got their first win, so you're on the up and up, and now it's a matter of can you stack results and prove that you can knock off, well, currently the #1 team in the power rankings. So the fact of the matter is, if you can get that result, then surely you will be higher up on this list come next week. With that in mind, though, this is all talk about paper and theoretical things. We're getting closer and closer to the second half of action. Got another break. When we come back, we will get you prepared for the next 45. Second half, moments away from getting started here at Hinchliffe Stadium. We had 4 goals in the first 45 plus. What do we have in store for us in the second half of action as this one draws closer and closer to its conclusion? Mark Schoenster with you here on ESPN Plus. Let's catch you up on all the action from the first half, whether you were watching and just need to see some of these goals again, or if you're catching up after missing out on the first half, let's catch you up then. Tough penalty here for Javan Romero, right at the corner of the penalty area. Ball going away from goal, but a foul in the penalty box is a penalty. That is the parameters of the rule, and Ajmir Spangler is more than willing to take advantage of that. Well taken, Penn. Both of his penalty kicks in this game were perfectly placed. And speaking of perfectly placed, Vigo Ortiz, he is on a tear to start off his tenure with the Charlotte Independence. The teenager with, this one's up for debate for goal of the week already, if not for another goal that gets scored in this game that will also be competing with him. So Christian Kofi on the other side, knocked over by by Madden. Would be a second pen for the Cosmos, and Ajmir Spangler would once again be clinical at the spot. This one staying low to the ground and tucks it near post or to the left post, and that's that. 2-1 back in favor of the home side, and it looked like they were going to take that into the break, but then off the set piece, ball nodded into the air, and Jefferson Amaya has a go. Takes a bounce inside the 6-yard box, and the goalkeeper couldn't manage that deflection, that ricochet, and we are all tied up at 2 apiece here. For those who are subscribers to XG, it's 1.96 for the Cosmos, 0.049 for the Independents. Now, of course, 2 penalty kicks are going to give you a real good boost in XG, but the Jacks have 2 goals and don't even have half in XG. That goes to show you just how ridiculous their 2 strikes were in this game. And they're doing this without the guy that they're trying to feed to at the top of the formation, Swebu Maru. As action resumes here from North Jersey. Mark Schoenster with you here for each and every moment as we inch our way to the finish line to start off this USL League One and USL slate in general for this weekend. Here's Christian Kofi. Kofi into the center and into the hands of Matt Levy. And he'll quickly distribute it over to the left-hand side, and Vigo Ortiz will run it down the field. That pass a little loose from Alvarez. They're not on the same page, and it's given back to the Cosmos. Some great games coming our way over this weekend. And this is a great way to get the action started, but tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, Greenville Triumph and FC Naples will do battle along with Westchester and Corpus Christi. And it continues along with Sarasota and 1 Knoxville 30 minutes later. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, AC Boise with their home opener against Spokane. That is going to be appointment television, and then AV Alta close off the evening with a game against Union Omaha. A lot of intriguing matchups and fun combinations of styles of play. I want to make sure you catch as much of that as you can tomorrow. Jaime hits it forward for Enzo Martinez. Ajmir Spangler plays it out to the right-hand side. Running in is Galazzini, and it's poked away from him for a corner. They like finding Galazzini bombing down that right-hand side. They did it quite a bit in their last game, a win against Fort Wayne, their first win as a club since joining USL League One. It'll be Spangler from the right flag. lot of air under that one. Tapped up to Kofi. Christian Kofi. Dancing as he goes and definitely commits a foul there. Flips the ankle of Miles Lyons. Free kick for the visitors. Victorious last week against Spokane, 4-0. Victorious in the midweek in the Open Cup. Make it to the round of 32. That was against Carolina foe, Charleston Battery. A side that's always a contender at the USL Championship level. So a lot of good energy coming into this game for these two teams, and they've already shown a bit of it here as this match has gone along. High quality goals from Charlotte, and Cosmos have had some great bits of build up. Had a chance to get their third goal with Galazzini in the first half. Just wasn't quite to beat. It's Jefferson Amaya who wrapped up the goal scoring before the halftime whistle. Just 22 years old, Charlotte native, one of the academy products from the Independents. It's one of a couple on this team who went to the Independence Academy and made their way to play some college ball, and now that they're done with their NCAA careers, they have returned back to where they grew and became the soccer player that they are. Amaya in particular got some burn with the first team as an academy guy, and that dynamic between Independence 2, the second team, and the academy with the first team is such an important part of their program. Mike Jeffries always wants to maintain that good relationship with the academy and the first team, and there's a lot of learning that can be done for a young player seeing how a pro operates. Kofi feeds it inside, favors returned just behind Christian Kofi, and that'll be booted up the pitch. Ortiz finds Dimmick. Those two will exchange back and forth as Ortiz doesn't really have anywhere to go and didn't like the options, and his body language demonstrated that. Dimmick inside to Ortiz. Dimmick once more has knocked away, and it'll be a deep throw for the Jacks. Ortiz wants to cut inside and put his laces through it, and Cosmos now learned firsthand that that cannot be where he's allowed to go, so the gates will be closed quickly as here comes Spangler after some pressure. Spangler rolls it into the middle, falls out to Kofi. Christian Kofi straight at the keeper. Eye level for Matt Levy. Kofi, a player who has scored quite a few goals at the MLS Next Pro level. Still trying to open his account in goals or assists here this season with the Cosmos. Jaime going over to the right-hand side. Miles Lyons, one of the men who had to sub in the first half of action, on the ball now. Lyons drills it in centrally. Monin looks to switch it to Ortiz. He gets on the end of it. Vigo Ortiz shrugged off the ball. That's one element of the game he's going to have to learn, is the physicality at the League One level. How about that intervention right there? Keep a breakaway from occurring for the Cosmos. Gotta respect the hustle from these visitors, despite the wear and tear on their legs. Wenzati Rolled up ahead for Kofi, and the offside flag will go up. Let's take a peek at that opportunity from a couple moments ago. It was Kofi on the receiving end of it. Spangler rolls it through. Guenzati lets it go by him, and then Kofi just straight at the goalkeeper. Wasn't able to pick either side. Spangler chops it up ahead. Levy on the ball, it pops up. Saw Guenzati coming and decided to take the bad scenario instead of the worst scenario. It's good recognition from the savvy vet, Sebastian Guenzati. Saw how that ball was bouncing towards the goalkeeper, and that ball was really intended for him in the first place, but some players may take their foot off the gas when they see the goalkeeper around, but that wasn't going to be the easiest ball for the man in pink to handle. Kofi with an overlapping run. He'll cut inside. Kofi with the back heel. The shot is taken, and it sails over top for Spangler. May or may not have been good for 3 points. It's laid off nicely by Kofi, and through the uprights, Ajmir Spangler couldn't put it on frame. There's Amaya. It's good we can have an academy guy come back and be a contributing member of the team. Good reinforcement that you're doing something right. Jaime swerving in. Jaime lets it fly. That one had some venom, but it's also off target. Ortiz is down for the Jacks as we see Jaime put his laces through this one. It was a sizzling shot. A little closer than Spangler's on the other end. All off-target shots at the end of the day are the same. Look at all those lovely games. And I'd like to reinforce USL League One. Some crispy logos too. So many great crests across this third division league as here's Galazzini working his way inside. Galazzini centrally! Ball is still live and not fully cleared. A lot of bodies falling over in that offensive transaction. Well, the Independents able to stand tall here. It's a great run from Galazzini, but getting there first, Miles Lyons. And then on his bum, knocking that ball away from the post. Jaime lofting it over top for Alvarez. And the vet Jordan Chavez will knock it out of harm's way, but here come the Jacks once again. Shot play towards goal! Knocked away by Derek Chan. Matisse Goufoy, the French midfielder, taking his turn. "22 years old, his first year as a pro. Service drilled inside. Chested to the top of the 18. Amaya going for take two. Alvarez, another service. Skipping in, Ortiz! And out it goes. Let's take a peek at this one again. Injury close to goal. And it's actually Gouffroy that's almost on the tapping end of it. Couldn't connect. The Independents with a flurry of chances here. Cosmos are going to try to craft their own now. Kofi rolling it up for Quenzotti. Levy's there a step sooner. Kofi, that's a lovely touch and turn. Christian Kofi playing in centrally. Quenzotti up to Spangler. Ajmer Spangler to Galazzini. He's offside. Offside flag rips up immediately as it reaches Galazzini. And he was looking to recreate his goal from last week against Fort Wayne. Wasn't to be for the home side. Action resumes quickly for the Independents. Romero rips it across, chested down by Gouffroy. The back heel, Jaime. Over the right corner. Slippage on the turf, and that'll be a free kick in favor of the home side. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XMFC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Press persisting for the Independents 60 minutes into this match. Uh-oh, here's Quenzotti. Nods it down, the veteran. Tracked down quickly. Well closed off by Manin. Kofi up top. Mendonca inside for Spangler. And that shot off target. Ajmer Spangler hunting for a hat trick. Two penalty kick goals for Spangler in the first half. Two rockets from the Jacks to equalize on two separate occasions. I feel like we got another goal in this game somewhere. Really could be for either side up to this point. We've seen some great chances brew up for either unit. 30 more minutes to go. Alvarez rips it in himself! Not too far off. Trying to make it a trifecta of bangers. Wasn't to be for the man from Honduras. That one was fizzing towards goal. Good way out, kept its pace. Enzo Martinez. And knocked away from him. Dimick picks up the pieces. Heel to Amaya. Booted away for Independence throw. William Patterson University is proud to be the official university partner of the New York Cosmos. We're a powerhouse in business education, the #1 producer of MBAs in New Jersey. Explore our wide range of undergraduate and graduate programs at wpunj.edu. There's a booking for Miles Lyons. Nearly 20 minutes into this second half, and although we've already had 3 substitutions, none of which have been taken here in the second half of action, all of which were from the first 45 minutes. And I mean, that's a pretty dangerous collision on the back of Kofi's leg. Obviously, it's the foul for him wrapping around Kofi, but the fall after the fact is, I can have some very nasty results. Bito has that one knocked away for a corner.
Yellow card issued to number 16, Miles Lyons of Charlotte Independence.
He's going to take this. It'll be Ndunka. Played with Chattanooga FC and MLS Next Pro. 27 appearances for them on the year. Has Kofi short, and that's where it'll go. Rolled up top. Milovanov. Knocked away by the Independents, and it'll be another throw for the home side. Milovanov lofting it to the right hand. Settled down nicely. Galazzini. Still with the ball, trying to make the right decision. Some hefty pressure and too much contact will mean a free kick for the Cosmos. Take it quickly. Well, at least so we thought. Officiating crew led by Mohamed Kalia. Not taking kindly to the quick restart. It's a set piece from roughly this spot that Charlotte scored right before the halftime whistle. Cosmos now with the opportunity to retake the lead from a similar vantage point. This is off the training ground. Played back out. Spangler swerving it in. Ball over to the left-hand side for Kofi. He's on an island. Kofi dancing. Ushered over to the byline. He takes the last touch. Rolled out for a goal kick. Davide Corti, when talking about the opposition, he wanted to conclude the conversation when it came to how to approach the game. He said, the worst opponent for us is us. We have to meet the match with the same determination as we did in that game against Fort Wayne. The attitude that his team played with in that win, something he wants his side to reflect throughout the season, even if the gameplay, the style of play wasn't exactly what they were looking for in the match. In League One, sometimes you just got to grit your teeth and fight your way through a result. It's not always going to look the way you pictured it in your mind. You got to scrap them where you can. Teams in this league who have become really successful are the teams that have been able to pick up 3 points and salvage a point in games where they haven't looked very good and yet still can come away with something positive. Yes, you're going to want games where things are clicking and it's the way you pictured it in your mind, but they're not all going to be like that as this ball's launched over to the left-hand side. Right now, it's the Cosmos fishing for a third lead in this game. And they've got a corner kick to see if they can reach their destination. Nick Mendonca once again at the left corner flag. Probably chatting with some of his teammates, warming up over there at the far corner. Tap back to him, Mendonca. Service takes a couple of nods from Charlotte Independence, but here they come again. Effort ripped towards goal, saved by Levy. Once again, didn't have to shift side to side too much to make that stop. Levy in for George Tesaurus here. He played in the middle of the week, but Levy's been the starter in the first 2 league games, so perhaps Tesaurus will get the cup starts this season, and that'll be Levy in league matches. At least that is my assessment of the situation. Lions sends it in, tapped down by Martinez, and that's the end of that opportunity. An emphatic clearance to ensure no more danger brews. Kofi will bring it forward. No one's closing him off. Now Spangler. Running into 2 white jerseys here. That was proven too much. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Morabito. And the eyebrows raised for just a second from Derek Chan. Lions able to get on the end of that one, and he'll roll it back to his goalkeeper. 70 minutes through, still tied at 2 apiece. 2 penalty kick goals for the Cosmos. 2 ripping shots from outside the 18 for the Jacks. All of which taking place in the first half of action. Each team been in the hunt for, as the game goes on, is more and more potentially a game winner. We're going to get our first substitution of the second half as Gouffroy will sub off and Jonathan Nianjo will sub in. Player on a 25-day contract trying to stake his claim. Charlotte native, another one of those guys who spent time in the Charlotte Independence Academy before going off to college. Alvarez. Not a bad idea, but couldn't quite make the sifting pass necessary. Jaime. Rolled out wide, Dimmick. Taps it back to Alvarez. Searching ball up ahead. Dimmick's cross doesn't get very far. And it'll be Spangler once again dashing down the pitch. Basically the man they want to go to when they regain possession, and he could push the tempo. Alvarez. Swinging cross, has a man! And it just goes wide. Derek Chan got enough on it The substitute, Jonathan Nianjo, looking to be the difference maker. It's just a swipe from Derek Chan. His left arm doing enough to keep this one tied. It'll be Romero from the right corner with Martinez standing stationary close by. Romero, claimed by Chan. Stopped the initial threat and is able to clean things up moments later. He'll quickly launch it down the field. Guenzati on the receiving end. Oh, what a touch. Had to chase it a little bit, but that was going sky high. Amaya is now down on the ground. A lot of opinions being thrown at our head official, Mohamed Kalia, right now. And a straight red has been given. William Knocker has just been sent off. They can't believe it. We're going to need to get another look at it. That's not a red. You can call it a foul. You can call it a yellow. I really don't think that that's a straight red. You're sliding in, trying to maintain possession for your team. I don't even know if his studs were up. What a massive decision. I don't think there's any grievous ill intent in that challenge, nor is it of high reckless consequence either. I mean, he gets to the ball first. That's a shocking decision, in my opinion. And here's another peek at it. I mean, yeah, he clips Jefferson Amaya, and I'm sure that that contact did not feel good. But I am very much opposed to this decision. But the decision has been made. And with 15 minutes to go, Charlotte Independence are now up a player. And the objective prior to that interaction was along the lines of both teams searching for all 3 points in this game, looking for a winner, and now the pitch is going to start tipping over to the right-hand side, and the visitors are going to start thinking that 3 points is within their grasps, and the Cosmos will be trying to just get out of here at the scoreline as it stands. Ball kept in play by Lions, and he now has it again. Martinez goes for it himself. Still Martinez. Nianjo. Chopped inside, no one there on the receiving end for the Jacks. Launched up the field, Guenzati trying to track it down for the home side. Justin Milovanov, excuse me, able to earn his side a corner kick. Working along that far touchline. Set pieces and corner kicks in particular, a good avenue though if you're down a player to still generate some goal scoring. Let's see what they could conjure up here. It's Spangler from the right flag as it's been throughout the night. That one dips down and hunting for it there. Anderson Holt. Now it's Kofi. Christian Kofi knocked over, and it's a point to the spot. A third penalty has been awarded to the Cosmos. A second foul drawn in the penalty area by Christian Kofi. And it may be the same man guilty the first time around. Tripped up by the French center back. And down a player of the Cosmos with a glorious opportunity to take the lead. Moments ago I mentioned they might just be fighting to keep a point, but now, why not all three? Ajmir Spangler looking to make it a hat trick of penalties. And he's up against Matt Levy. He went left both occasions, one time top shelf, one time bottom left corner. Will he go in the same direction this time around? Will he shake it up? What'll it be for the 25-year-old string puller for this Cosmos side? Spangler makes it a hat trick. Down a man, but up a goal. The Cosmos with the lead for the third time in this game. Christian Kofi. He's been light on his feet throughout this game, trying to dance by defenders, and he's now on two separate occasions gotten Raoud Manin to bite in a bad spot. And Ajmir Spangler has been the recipient of all three penalty kicks, and he has been clean on all three of them. Four goals for Spangler in 5 matches with 3 assists as well, so really stuffing up the stat sheet in the early stages of this season. And we are off and running with under 10 minutes left of the 90. The Independents have been able to find an answer after the first 2 penalty kick goals conceded. They don't have as much time this go around, but they do have an extra player on the pitch. This should be a spicy conclusion. Vigo Ortiz on the ball now. Well, they need to call his number again. Long distance effort doesn't go very far, and Manin had it blocked pretty quickly. And now Spangler running forward. Manin tracking back and drawing the foul. Expertly done by the defender. And I'm sure that's somebody out there who's feeling like he's got to step in and make some plays here, given some of the actions he's taken in this matchup so far, and especially on that occasion, the breakaway starting with his shot being blocked. Alvarez sends it inside. Popping up in the air, still in danger! Jaime's denied. I would anticipate More of this incoming for the rest of regulation here on ESPN+. As the Jacks are going to throw in some more reinforcements offensively. John Baquero subbing into the game for Amaya. So Jefferson Amaya scores a wonderful goal at the conclusion of the first half to tie the game up. We'll see his night come to an end, and Baquero, the veteran, will step in and try to see if he can help his side find an equalizer. Ball sent in over top. Martinez has it blocked away for a corner. Cosmos trying to make it 2 straight wins here at home. Alvarez inside to Martinez. He goes down. Ref says play on. Boy, what a game it's been. Cosmos able to take the lead once again after going down a player. William Knocker being sent off on a controversial decision. Our head officials had to make some tough decisions today. Jaime poked over to the left-hand side. Ball sent in the middle. Martinez could only get under the service. Veteran who has been tasked with being the top of the formation today for the Independents with the absence of Sway Boomeroo. It really makes this Independence team tick. Tired of players who make things tick. Ajmer Spangler still hobbled. And perhaps some criticism could be levied his way for having 3 penalty kick goals for a hat trick. Now, obviously, he has no control over that. But you could look from afar and think, oh, well, that's not that really legit of a hat trick. But the fact of the matter is Ajmer Spangler is involved in everything this Cosmos team does. Every offensive opportunity, it goes through him. As we get a trio of substitutions for the home side. Try to see this one to the finish line as Nestor Cabrera, Nicolas Alanca, Tino Puentes are all on the pitch now with fresh legs. Free kick awarded to the Cosmos. Alvarez patting the side of his arm saying it was all clean, but the decision's been made. He's going to get a talking to from our head official. Contact from Alvarez. Another set piece opportunity for the Cosmos. If nothing else, this is time well wasted. Not fully dealt with. Played off to the right-hand side. Now the visitors have the ball, and time is ticking away for the visitors to find an equalizer. It has been a gritty game. A game hard fought from both teams. Certainly some dramatics on top of that. Do we have any more twists in this tale before the final whistle? Alvarez. Baquero Lifting it over top for Martinez, but Derek Chan's there first, and he's going to take a love tap there from Enzo Martinez. Will be a foul. Wonder how much is left in the tank for the Charlotte Independents as this game is going along. So many minutes played by so many of these players. Came out Luis Alvarez, who played all 120 minutes. And it was more than 120, by the way, given how much added time was lopped on in that match. Ended up being more like 140. And then looking to play the full 90 here as well. And Alvarez in particular, that's a guy who flies around the pitch the entire game too. So kudos to that training staff in Charlotte. For conditioning, they're able to get some of these guys in. Here's Alvarez now. And out wide. Sent inside! It sprays wide! Another close encounter, this time Miles Lyons on the receiving end. Just nodded off target. Fans of the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Here's Baquero. Drilling it up ahead. Independence with 5 more minutes to find an equalizer. It's 5 more minutes for the Cosmos to hang on. Won their first ever USL League One game last weekend. They're trying to make it 2 in a row now. Baquero from the right-hand side. Curling it in to the top of the 18. One touch, shot to goal. Skips off target. Miles Lyons once again. Close, but just not quite. They're going to keep hunting till the final moment in this game, the Independents. It's the kind of hunger that got them the win in the midweek and earned them a chance to play against their in-city rivals in the round of 32. First Charlotte derby coming April 15th. How exciting is that? It's Charlotte FC. Romero. Curling ball, knocked away. Kept in possession of the Jacks. Baquero. Send over to the corner. Can it be kept in bounds? Not quite. Alvarez. Always dashing around. Couldn't get there in time. Derek Chan couldn't be kept in bounds, and so Charlotte will get the ball once again. Halfway through the 5 added. Up a player, down a goal. Dimmick inside of Baquero. Got options centrally. Romero switches the point of attack to Alvarez. Luis Alvarez. Sends it in the middle. Tell you what, Vigo Ortiz scored a late game equalizer in the game against Westchester, then scored a late game winner against the Battery. Haven't said his name too frequently as of late. Once again, appeals for a penalty will not be acquiesced. Mike Jeffries making his opinion known. And now action will stop while the one who felt like a penalty should have been earned for Miles Lyons is still on the ground. Let's take a peek at this. I mean, that would be a tough penalty to give there, I would say. Lyons back up on his feet. More time trickling away. And now a yellow card's just been given to the bench over here for the Independents. Mike Jeffries in particular, the recipient. Monin. Handed away to Ortiz. Alvarez rips it in. Knocked outward. 30 more seconds. We may get a little bit of extra. We'll see just how giving our head official Mohamed Kalia is. Ball chested down. How many more chances do Charlotte have? That one booted away. Baquero collects. Alvarez, as we hit 95. Ortiz launches it in centrally. Once again headed out. Ortiz. Changes direction, has a man out to his left, doesn't see him. Ortiz, knocked over, clean challenge. And now the Cosmos will look to dribble this one to its conclusion. Solanka has the ball knocked away. A couple of referee impersonators in the crowd trying to feign the final whistle. Well, that's a bad pass. And it's dribbled over and passed to the left-hand side. Solanka parried away, couldn't be kept in bounds. A corner kick has been awarded, and that may just do it here. And now it's done. The Cosmos shine for a second game in a row. 3-2 your final score. Heavy embrace for Davide Corti and his coaching staff. It was gritty. It was uncomfortable. But they pick up all 3 points here at home. How about that matchup? All done here after 90-plus minutes, but we're not done on the broadcast. 3-2 your final score. We'll have post-game coverage coming up next on ESPN+. We'll see you then. back here at Hinchcliffe Stadium. The Cosmos, 2 wins in a row. 3-2 your final score here over the Charlotte Independence. The Cosmos victorious. And it's all from the same boot. First hat trick of the season, Ajmer Spangler. All 3 from the spot, but they all count the same. And they're all very important because all 3 of them were needed to get 3 points in this one for the home side as we take a look at the full-time highlights. Got started early in this affair as the first penalty was drawn. Javan Romero in the corner of the penalty area. It's a tough pill to swallow if you're the visitors. But it's given. Point to the spot. And Ajmer Spangler happy to put his team in the lead, not knowing this same situation would arise 2 more times in this game. Able to beat Levy on this occasion. And then a response from Figo Ortiz, who is red hot to start the season. The teenager ripping it top shelf. That is a highlight goal. And he will continue to build quite the mixtape here in the early goings of 2026. And a couple minutes later, penalty number 2. Christian Kofi knocked over by Rayud Manin. Won't be the last time we will describe a penalty drawn that way. He gets knocked over. Just a rough step in by the French center back, and then Spangler, once again, easy as you like, makes it 2-1 in favor of the Cosmos, once again putting his team in the lead. But before the half would conclude, it would be a speculative effort from Jefferson Amaya, and it took a fortuitous bounce, popping over Derek Chan, and would give the game tie once again. And then look, Christian Kofi combining with Manin in a way that is not good for the Jacks and is all great for the Cosmos. Down a man at this point, Ajmer Spangler makes it 3 for 3. Again, first hat trick this season in USL League One across the table. Getting the job done here as we look at the full-time stats here. This is a hard-fought game. The Cosmos will be feeling really good about this one, and if you're the Charlotte Independence, you're thinking, well, you came into this game exhausted, short-handed, and you lose off 3 penalties, maybe feel a bit hard done by this result, but the fact of the matter is it's 3 points for the home side and 0 for the teams that are coming in, who now have to stay on the road and go to Knoxville next. So, oof, what a game for the Jacks there. Meanwhile, it's a whole week off into next Sunday, the 19th, against Forward Madison for the Cosmos, so they get to savor on this 2-game win streak for a little while. That's where this broadcast will end here on ESPN+. Got a lot of great games coming tomorrow, so be sure to tune in for all of them. But for our entire broadcasting crew, my name is Mark Stone, so we wish you a fantastic Friday night. We'll see you next time. The Cosmos victorious 3-2 over the Jacks.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.